Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central here in Kent, Ohio. Another day, another story, ready to go at it one more time. Proverb for today is, when the leopard is away, his cubs are eaten. When the leopard is away, his cubs are eaten. And that's from Rwanda, Urundi, right? Rwanda, Urundi. That's East Africa, in case y'all don't know. Oh, you know what? I got my map up here, and I got my handy-dandy markers. I'm start marking these off. Rwanda, Urundi. And that's right around in here. That's Lake Victoria. So it's not there, but it's about over there. Little bitty country, right about there, if I'm not mistaken. Rwanda, Urundi. Okay? All right. Now, poem for today is Undying Faith by V.S. Chochezi. Undying Faith. Goes along with our theme today. We started with the leopard being gone and his cubs being eaten. We knew we had to be careful of police, protecting everyone and everything from us, even in our neighborhoods. But we forgot about Neighborhood Watch, watching us like it's their neighborhood and we don't belong in it, even though we bought the house next door. It's not like we ran up on their porch and torched an onk on their lawn. But when they got the guns and the laws and the courts and the juries and the judges, and they own the airwaves and the papers and the stores and the shops and banks and the airports, they control the jobs and the jails and basically the neighborhood and the state and the country, and they socialize with each other and think like each other and empathize with each other, and they get each other and they acquit each other and they fight right in, they fit right in, and you stand like a criminal with thief tattooed across your forehead, and you neglect to bow your head, avert your eyes, round your shoulders a little, and speak in soft tones of submission. Rather, you react in indignation, believing in your rights and fairness and justice, just to be reminded that everyone is not righteous, and they fail to recognize your humanity at their own, and they wrench out your heart and tear away your soul, and you end up with a situation like M-O-V-E, that spells move, Mumia, Leonard Peltier, like Troy Davis, Trayvon Martin, and Oscar Grant, in case you forgot about them, like Amadou Diallo, Abner Louima, James Byrd Jr., in case you forgot about him, Asada, and countless others. And really, this is not a poem about being black or native or alien or poor in America or Mexico, but you might be Palestinian or Aboriginal in Australia, or you might be a kidnapped Nigerian girl, one of 250 who remain unfound. You might be a sex-trafficked slave, a victim of homophobia, a Muslim in Burma, a Dalit in India, a Cuban under the triple blockade, a woman subjected to rape, murder, illiteracy, violence, and poverty in many parts of the world, and they are the enforcers and oppressors. Now, complete optimism, belief that such things happen to others. Denial or blissful ignorance may prevent worry, but for the rest of us, only our undying faith in a mighty God, small victories, and random acts of kindness from people we never expected we would relate to helps us save us from hopelessness and despair. We pray for divergence from this destructive path of barbaric violence, greed, self-righteousness, and subjugation of others we are witnessing. You've heard it before, but it bears repeating. We long for human rights and justice in a world that embraces peace and harmony, love and respect for all people. V.S. Chochezi. Thank you, V.S. Those are some good words to start our day off on. Okay. Now, we're going to go from there to Alabama. That's right. Yep. We're going to go straight to Alabama. See what we got from Bama. Travels in the South. A cold night in Alabama. Right out of Black Fire. Okay. We raced from Phoenix City, the old mafia town, through Tuskegee and on to Selma to be off the road before the sun went down. In the evening, the road was dangerous. Alabama life is regimented. It is regulated precisely by the rising and setting of the southern sun that tells farmers when to plant and hoe. It is regulated by a gang of owners who tell people what to plant. The average Alabaman has an There were no white-haired gentlemen on the porticoed porches of the mansions drinking mint julep. In a real sense, there never were. The Faulknerian South is actually a facade which hides a sinister intelligence. The average Alabaman has an 8th grade education. The one thing they do know very well is a perverted morality. They follow rules of social conduct as carefully as a spider web. Travel in the tightly controlled state is made torturous by the complicated local customs. One must move within one of two communities, either the white community or the black community. It wasn't about no people of color. It was white or black. That's what I grew up in too. Okay, it wasn't no other colors around here till lately. The traveler's view of the state is necessarily colored by the people surrounding him. If you travel with either blacks or whites, you can find those who succumb to the dulling facts of Alabama life. The whites who work at their farm labors for an average of $2,516 a year, boots sunk into the mud, know they will be allowed to live only if they kill all hope for themselves and for Negroes. The various dreary systems of life are a matter of intelligence. More than intelligence, there is an emotional set. One must fit if he is to live in the South. One must not only think and act according to prescription, one needs to have correct feelings. Misfits, such as myself, live in constant danger of being discovered. In the gray steel cities of Bessemer and Birmingham, whites prostitute themselves to earn $5,779 a year. It is significant that children of Alabama whites forget how to smile by the time they reach their teens. Their thin mouths are drawn into permanent tight sneers. By the time they are 15, they have developed all the cunning needed to live in a jungle, because it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how they keep. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a different story. Only the black community can still revel in life. The sheer honesty of the impoverished who say no to the cruelty of sharecropping and ghetto life is beautiful. There is hope in the black community, for it is the only community that is willing to struggle. In that struggle alone is found bravery and genius. There is a sweetness about Alabama. It is the sweetness of rotten grapes. Revived antebellum mansions scattered throughout the state give no hint of roots in the past, but they rather seem to be a part of modern Alabama. They suggest a strong upper class is thriving in that fearful state. Integrated among large mansions along the highways sit hosts of 8 to 10 room houses of early 1900 vintage and modified Gothic style in little pockets throughout the town, and on the outskirts of town are the shotgun houses of the poor working class. And in the rural areas of the country are the shacks of sharecroppers, bare boarded structures raised on blocks to keep the water out. It was in one of those shacks on the edge of the Selma community that we spent the night. We stood around the fire talking, afraid to get into bed and face the cold and long night. All there would be to do would be to think, and it would be too cold to sleep or think. Now, I'm going to do what I should have done yesterday. That story I read, which is I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to continue this story on the new day. Oh, yeah, we'll be able to finish this off on the new day. It's not that much longer. Matter of fact, let me see. Could I do it in 4 minutes? Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this one up. I think I can make it. All right. Oh, no, I got 1, 2, 3 pages. Okay, no, so we'll finish this one on the new day. Yeah, we'll save the rest of that for tomorrow. But by the way, there was a part here that struck me when he said, where was that at? It was right before the shotgun houses. Okay, don't see it now. Well, I'll come back to it. Yep. Oh, misfits such as myself live in constant danger of being discovered. That does describe me. Because even in this land right here, right now, today, I still feel like a misfit. Somebody who doesn't quite fit in. Somebody who doesn't think the same. Oh, I take that back. Somebody who thinks, period. Because most people would rather not think. Because thinking means that you have to actually realize and recognize and acknowledge what is being done to you on a daily basis. All the small slights, all of the minor insults, all of the minor discomforts, all of the minor slashes, cuts, and burns that in the end add up to a lifetime of skin disease. Okay, just small, slight cuts, a little bit at a time. What do they say? They say death by 1,000 cuts. That's what it's like. Death by 1,000. That's life in America for, if you're black, in America for most of us, is death by 1,000 cuts. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, what neighborhood you live in, or what city you live in. This atmosphere is, this country is permeated with an atmosphere that lends itself to those kind of actions being taken against black people in particular. Okay, so something to think about. Something to think about. And mind you, this story was set in the 60s, but it's still, these things are still true today. Oh, now I recall what I was thinking about. And that is that in case you're thinking that what I'm reading here, because it's set in the 60s, is all in the past and it's too far back for anybody to remember. I was talking to a young man at the store the other day, and he was telling me about his trip to Alabama, how he ran out of gas and tried to get, almost ran out of gas, stopped at a gas station to get some gas in Alabama. And the man told him he couldn't sell him no gas in there with his car in the gas station, that he had to move his car off the lot because niggas weren't allowed in his store. But he would make an exception if he would remove his car off the grounds, put it out on the street somewhere, and then he would sell him a can and a gallon of gas to put in his gas tank. And he could just take it out there to his car and put it in the car and keep on moving. That's what he's told him, because he wouldn't fill the car up He would only give him a gallon of gas, and he's out there in the middle of Alabama. In other words, he was telling him, go on up the road to another gas station and see if they'll fill your car up. And maybe they will, and maybe they won't. But it was a jarring story to hear in that was about a couple years. So not that far in the distant past. This is something that just happened recently. So at any rate, I'm going to end this particular day's live stream, and we'll be back tomorrow. In the meanwhile, you see the button down there at the bottom. We need everybody's support. We need volunteers. We need help. We need promotion. We need people to share, like, and subscribe. And we definitely need funds to continue our work. If you think it's a worthwhile thing that we're doing here, if you think it's not just a total waste of time, pony up. We don't need much. Start with $5. $5 will get us started. Okay. Grease that pump. Prime the pump. Okay. Let's get this thing moving, because we got lots of work to do, and we've just started. We've got thousands of books here in the Black Facts /Crosby archive. So we want to present as many stories from these books as possible. And we'll mix it in with some real stories like the one I just told you. We're here to share. We hope you care. We'll see you tomorrow without any sorrow. Or you can check us here tonight when we tell another story, but we continue the story of Jackie Torrance's grandmama. Okay? Either way, we hope you have a good day. Peace out without a doubt. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9 signing off.